there's all sorts of discussions over what should students be doing. Should they be learning these tools and then using them? Because the future will require people that know how to do that, as opposed to people that think that they're being uniquely creative and writing their own materials, which it might be that you are, but I'm convinced that everything I think and say has come from some other source. And I think that's the way memory works. I think, didn't I mention the Sokal?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Yes, Alan Sokal was a scientist that did I think when I talked about plagiarism, I mentioned this. The trouble was that Sokal thought, scientists were being uniquely creative, and people that were doing things like postmodernism were just repeating garbage, basically. But when they did a study using the MIT students did a studies, on science documents, they discovered that the same thing actually applied to both. That we've got essentially this large language model that we're accumulating in our head. What you're doing in your education, one way of thinking about it, is you're ingesting all this information. And at the same time, you're also ingesting kind of the rules on how you adapt the information you're getting so that you can create something that's considered to be uniquely yours, right? And so you're learning how to do an essay. You're learning how the current standard works with regard to productivity, writing productivity, right? But what a lot of this development in AI and how it's working seems to indicate that it's duplicating what human beings do, but quicker, right? So go ahead.
Did you watch are you talking about the Apple announcements today?
Oh, I heard they're coming out with a handheld phone that also has AI embedded in it.
Yeah, they did a partnership with ChatGPT, and I think they figured out a way to integrate it in all their different apps and processes and whatnot. Did you see some of what they?
I haven't. I did not.
It's some interesting stuff. I think in a market like Apple has, I think it could really, it can change kind of some sentiment around AI. I still don't fully trust it, but it looks a bit more interesting than what we have right now.
Well, it's changing. I mean, when did ChatGPT come out? Not a year ago, was it?
I think it was 22.
Was it that long ago? Because I hopped on the day that they announced it, and I've been using it since. I guess I could sign on and go look and see.
November 30th, 2022.
2022.
So it's coming up on 2 years.
Actually, I suppose I could go way back. It accumulates. It keeps all the stupid things you ask it in record, so that you can go and see it's still. Yeah, this is about when I first started checking it out for poetry. How good a poet would it be, and so on. Interesting. But you can see there's just, you can ask it all kinds of things. I actually got to the point the other night where it said, "You've used up your free," and I was like, "What?" And a friend of mine said, "Oh yeah, there's an actual limit on the free one, and I'm not going to pay, for stuff. I hate paying for parking. It's probably the biggest irritant is paying for parking. However, I did pay this year. So, okay, thanks for that. That's fun. Good questions. But I'm actually behind. I don't know how this happened. Actually, probably I'd like to talk about things that are interesting. And I did the Crito and the Phaedo on the day that we were actually supposed to do the Mano and the Republic. And so today I'm going to be doing the Mano and the Republic and pushing it, because this is really, according to the syllabus, double check. By the way, how I have things arranged and the way I post things, is that actually helpful, or are you finding the course absolutely confusticating, or any of that stuff? So today's the 9th, right? And notice I didn't do the Mano and the Republic, which we were supposed to do on the 4th. So I've got to catch up on that stuff for you today. So this will be kind of quick. I should, though, play you something absolutely hilarious. This is really old.
Let me show in a parable to what extent our nature is enlightened or unenlightened. Envision human figures living in an underground cave with a long entrance across the whole width of the cave. Here they've been from their childhood,